It's time for MacBreak Weekly. Renee Ritchie's off getting briefed by Apple, so Doc Rock joins us, YouTube star, along with Andy Ihnatko, Lory Gill, and of course, we just got off the big Apple announcement, so there's lots to talk about. A new Apple Watch, a new SE Apple Watch, that's pretty cool, new iPad, and a new Apple bundle, Apple One. We'll break it all down for you in just a bit on MacBreak Weekly. MacBreak Weekly comes to you from TWiT's LastPass Studios. Securing every access point in your company doesn't have to be a challenge. LastPass unifies access and authentication to make securing your employees simple and secure, even when they're working remotely. Check out lastpass.com/twit to learn more.
Podcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is TWiT.
This is MacBreak Weekly, episode 731, recorded Tuesday, September 15th, 2020. The new Iwatch is here. This episode of MacBreak Weekly is brought to you by Worldwide Technology. Worldwide Technology's Advanced Technology Center is like no other testing and research lab, with more than $500 million of equipment, including OEMs like NetApp. And it's virtual, so you can access it 24/7. To learn more and to get insights into all the ATC offers, go to wwt.com/twit. It's time for MacBreak Weekly, the show where we get down and talk about Apple. And there's a lot to talk about. We're just coming off of the Apple first event for Apple in the fall. I think there's going to be at least, we know there's going to be one more, maybe even two more. Joining us now, Lory Gill, who is on TWiT on Sunday. It was so nice having you.
It was great.
Managing editor at iMore. And it's great to see you. You didn't have to transcribe Tim Cook's remarks this time.
No,
right?
I would not be here right now if I had to transcribe anything. Believe me.
Believe you me.
It was really intense, though. My heart is pounding. I'm feeling a little discombobulated.
All right. My heart's pounding because
I'm not yet calmed down.
Breathtaking amount of money this is going to cost me is my heart's pounding.
Yeah.
Also here, Andy Ihnatko from WGBH in Boston.
Hello.
Good to see you. Unaccountably, Renee Ritchie's not with us right now.
Yeah, they're doing like streaming briefings right after the event.
Oh, I get it. So he's getting a briefing. I got it.
I'm only halfway important. I didn't get to participate in the briefings this time.
I got an invite, but it was by mistake. But we'll talk about that in a second.
Yes, me too.
That's true.
Also with us, Doc Rock of YouTube fame, youtube.com/Doc Rock. He's hanging loose in Honolulu. Nice
Aloha.
to see you. Aloha. Great to have you.
I did the best I could to get the Renee beard look going.
You look pretty good. I like it.
I work on my Canadian accent.
Okay, it's all about that.
Yeah, sorry if I messed anything
Sorry,
up.
I love that. Sorry. All right, we all watched the event, right? Obviously. I'll tell you the one thing that really stood out for me, and it's going to be an issue for Apple, is we knew they were going to announce a new watch. We knew they were going to announce a new iPad Air. They added some things in there. They did not mention tags. They did not mention speakers. They did not mention iPhone. So we know there's more to come, obviously. There's more than one more thing. But they did surprise me still when they talked about the new iPad Air because it has a new Apple Silicon A14 chip in it. So it is now faster than the high-priced iPad Pro.
So
does this mean everybody was saying on Twitter, well, I guess nobody's going to buy an 11-inch iPad Pro anymore. There are very few differences. You still get the 120 hertz on the iPad Pro. They didn't mention that, at least for the iPad Air. You get Face ID. I'm glad to see Face ID go. I think the on-off button fingerprint reader sounds like a much improved solution.
yeah, it remains to be seen how well it's going to work. But I think that Face ID was less essential on a big screen device than it is on a handheld device. I would like to think that this means that gives us reason to wonder exactly how far ahead the new iPad Pro is going to come as soon as it's released.
I thought maybe they'd announce it today, but they did not. They had just updated the iPad Pros with the new cameras, the LiDAR.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think one of the things that's going to happen, and this might be crazy, but this is a good beta test for Touch ID on a button. because then the iPhone will get 2 biometric factor identification for so you can do if you want to buy an app, you can use either finger or face, right? But if you want to make a transaction, like a money purchase, you're going to have to put finger
both.
and face. And then there's almost no way to beat that.
I never thought of that, but you're right. That's brilliant.
2-factor biometrics.
2-factor biometrics.
Oh. Well, is Apple willing to make the statement that actually when we said that there's no more secure way to authenticate on this device than Face ID, actually maybe you do want to do both of these at the same. I could really see it. I could really see them doing it as a belt and suspenders sort of situation, because as we have seen, there are times when maybe Face ID is not very, very convenient, and there are times when taking a glove off a hand is not very, very convenient.
But that's for the normal course of events. I think what Doc Rock's saying is normal course of events, one or the other. But in those special times, like you're buying something where you really want it to be secure, you might say, I want both, or like you're logging into your bank. I don't know.
Even like now with wearing masks and stuff, like the ability
that's why
to
I want
Face
fingerprint
ID back right now.
Yes.
Yeah. I've always loved Face ID until I had to rock the mask 24/7. I went to school in Japan, so I wore a mask all the time. Like I was used to that.
Oh, that's interesting.
But having to unlock my phone when I want to use Apple Pay, because I don't want to touch the punchy thing, the what do you call it, the little display. So I like to tap with my phone. And so, yeah, it's great to not to be able to have to take that off there.
Yeah, I don't mind losing Face ID, to be honest with you. And I should mention that on-off switch fingerprint is used by a lot of companies. It's used on PCs. It's used, I think Google uses it on some of their devices. Samsung uses it. It's on a lot of phones. Every time I've used it, it's very reliable. It's actually on this the Surface Duo, the Microsoft thing. It's fast, it's accurate, it's very easy to use. And you see, it's just what it really is a little, and Apple showed this in the event, it's a little scanner. And you could put that on the on-off switch, and it works very quickly and well. I think it's just a logical place to put it. What was it, a OnePlus? Something I had that, and I liked it a lot. And the whole thing about the fingerprint through the screen, I know it does, doesn't it? But I think it's still good.
But if it works, it works.
Yeah.
Like, that's great. I like to hear that there's already products that have success with using it, so that we know like it's an existing technology. It's not going to fail every third time necessarily, you know. It's good.
I'm thrilled. I am thrilled. But I am worried about the 11-inch iPad Pro. I mean, I guess it's 150. Somebody in the chat room did the numbers. $150 more for the 11-inch iPad Pro versus the Air. You get additional camera lenses. You get LiDAR, and you get 120 hertz. So there's some benefits, but not many.
They could make sure that the screen size is always going to be an advantage. They could make sure that the top storage is always going to be an advantage. There are ways to differentiate.
Well, the 12.9-inch iPad Pro I could see, right? By the way, this is the iPad Air. That is a lie. You can even see it is not an all-screen design. There's bezels. I definitely see bezels. Am I wrong?
Let's have a place to actually hold it without buying something accidentally. Can we please?
Okay, you're right. You do need a bezel on a tablet. I agree. But let's not call it an all-screen design.
But bezels are like the smash mouth of industrial design. It's like, what did they ever do to get everybody so mad at it and telling everybody that, oh, this has bezels, it must be a piece of crap? Bezels are fine, they're wonderful.
I know, but when you see them, and you've been using, it's mostly on phones, Andy. But when you see a big bezel, and you've been using bezel-less, you suddenly go, oh, that's disappointing.
I'll give you that on the Duo. I'll also give you that on the 8th generation iPad, which we'll be talking about later, I'm sure. Because now that does seem a little bit weird to have all that headroom and footroom. But I really do think that having some air, so to speak, between the live screen and the actual edge of the display is a good thing.
You need to be able to hold it. With a phone, you can hold. It's okay. You can hold it by the edges. But a tablet, you need to hold like you're holding a steering wheel. And I think you're exactly right on that.
Yeah. So, Leo, it's an iPad, and the bezels are okay.
Thank you, Smash Mouth Doc Rock. Now I know why you got that name. So it is this new 5 nanometer chip, which basically is saying, you see, Intel, you see, this is why we're not using you anymore. These are the I presume the Taiwan semiconductor manufacturer, TSMC chips.
That was a huge rub in the face. And I can't wait for all of the nerds to zoom in and see what was happening with all of that stuff on the back wall. It was very, very.
Oh, they already did on Twitter. There are a lot of people with
really?
With close-ups. Yeah, I think Lance Ulinoff did the first one I saw. Let me pull his up because it's nice to be able to analyze. They do this. They do this every time. They have the quick slide with all of this stuff you can't possibly read in enough time, and then wait a minute, get that. Here's the.
Ewan and I were joking on BTM about all of the Pro displays that Apple had in that ad right there, and they were like, "That's because that was the overstock from what they didn't sell."
So this is really an interesting processor. I think, by the way, this is the first salvo in what is going to be an amazing. I predict 2021 is the year of Apple Silicon. They are just going to literally lap. Well, not literally. I guess it's not a. There's no track involved, but they are going to lap Intel and AMD. With these processes, these I mean, this is on a tablet, a 6-core CPU, a quad-core GPU. I mean, 11.8 billion transistors in this thing, a 16-core neural engine. That's what you get when you get the process down to 5 nanometers.
Yeah, you notice that when they started talking about the Apple Watch, I think that's the first time that during a product introduction for the Apple Watch, they were talking. They spent a moment to talk about Apple Silicon to make sure that this is the brand that is going to extend to the entire line.
Yeah.
They've always been very, very proud of their in-house fabrication, in-house chip design, but now it's an additional asset. It's an additional signature for Apple to say, look, this is how well we do when we make all these things. That they were making so many direct comparisons between the iPad 8th generation and its performance to low-priced Chromebooks, low-priced Windows notebooks is definitely telling. They got something they can flex about now. And I have to say that I had my BS macro ready to go before they announced the price of the 8th gen because okay, so fine, so it's like it's 6 times faster than the top selling Chromebook. Well, maybe the top selling Chromebook is like $189 or
right.
Okay, it's legitimate for them to say this is a $300 tablet for education. It's legitimate for them to compare that to $300, $200 Chromebooks for education or sub $500 notebooks from Windows. And that's something that people can't really compare against. They're doing such a good job on it.
So this will be the iPad will be out Friday, September 18th. You can order it now. The 8th generation. This is the base model. Big bezels and yes, a home button with fingerprint on it. But this, I think you're right, Andy. I think at $300 for education, $329 for everybody else. I'm really glad they're preserving that price point because that. I can very safely say when somebody's saying, what should I get? Instead of saying, well, there's these Android tablets or, I can say, look, there's no reason not to get an iPad at $329. That's just, it would be a foolish economy to spend less and get a crappy tablet. So I think that's pretty good. This is now, they've upgraded the chip, the A12 Bionic, which is the iPhone XS processor. So a pretty powerful processor in there as well.
Yeah. Once again, underscoring that, hey, it's the iPhone processor, but of course we made our own customizations, our own changes for the iPad. Again, underscoring that we just like we can design new watch bands, we can just as easily design new CPUs for whatever purpose we need.
Lory, they did say with the Apple Watch, no adapter, no power adapter. That was the rumor. People were a little upset that maybe the new iPhone wouldn't have the wall wart, and obviously you'll have to have the cable, but wouldn't have the wall wart. The watch, I think, is the precursor to this. Is that a problem or is that a good thing?
Well, there's going to be a lot of people who already have some version of a USB charging port somewhere, including your computer. So if you own a computer, you own a way to charge.
They do sell the
Apple Watch, which you have to own an Apple Watch to use. I'm sorry, if you have an iPhone, because you need an iPhone to use an Apple Watch.
Right.
You've got a charger, but then you've only got one, so you can't charge them both at the same time.
Right.
So on the one hand, this is a step in the direction of eliminating waste, which I've got at least a dozen wall chargers. So
I think by now
I've got too many of them.
Everybody has a USB Type A wall charger.
And even if
or
and
two
even
or
if you're
three
not,
or 5 or 100.
yeah, and even if you're not in the everybody camp, even if you don't,
Right.
you can buy one for pretty cheap.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah, Apple sells the 5-watt for, nothing.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So it's not going to be that big of an impact. There's going to be people that are complaining that, for the same price you get less, in that with that idea, but I think for the most part, this is just the first in a series of a lot of devices that are just not going to come with a wall adapter. And that happens all the time. Lots of other phones and headphones and all different kinds of things don't come with the wall adapter. They come with the charging cable, and then you're on your own in terms of what you plug it into to charge it. So.
Yeah.
I think the lack of wall adapter is a very good nod in the direction of like useless waste, right? I know for a while I had a drawer with like at least 20 nondescript wall adapters because I never used them.
Exactly.
When I had to remodel the house like 3 years ago because we had a pipe burst. And the first thing on my list of things to change was I changed every single socket to one of those new tech sockets they sell on OWC, where it has the 2 USB ports plus, the regular, AC outlets. And then so I'd never use those adapters anymore. I have those all over. Now at Costco, you can buy a 2-pack of replacement sockets that come with USB ports, one with a 1.2 amp and one with the regular, a 2.1 amp and a regular amp. So a twin pack of those plugs are like $12 at Costco. So like I know many people retrofitting not to have
Right.
that, not to have that stuff.
Right.
So yeah.
I don't want to say anything, but just so you know, Doc Rock, Darth Vader's sneaking up on you.
No, he's back there, and it's funny. He's actually, it's hard to tell, but he's wearing kukui nuts because we have the famous Duke Hanamoku statue.
Yes.
And if you
he
go
looks,
to the
he is, it's
Hanamoku
the Duke.
statue-
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's what he is. So
It's the
he's
Duke
my
statue.
aloha Darth Vader.
That's
Yeah,
Darth Vader.
That's exactly what he's doing back there.
To be fair, though, there's a good. I think that this sort of choice is redeemed by Apple selling dirt cheap but very, very good quality, meaning safe chargers in the Apple Store. We're not exactly the typical users because if my equivalent of giving out apples at Halloween is here, have a 5-watt no-name Chinese charger that came included with whatever it was that I was testing that forgot to return last time,
Mr. Ihnatko.
So it's sometimes, but it's might be even worth it just to say that, look, we know that you might have gone for one of those like Black Friday deals on Amazon and gotten this really, really cheap, horrible, and explodey sort of charger. We want to make sure that you have one that's actually Apple made and actually Apple certified. But the other part is the other argument is, and this is quite legitimate, is that as Apple is talking so much about the environment and ecology and how they're doing all the right things, the EU and others have made the point that there's so much e-waste associated with chargers that maybe we should not be just simply carpet bombing everybody with extra chargers unless they actually want one and need one, because those things really do add up in the waste pile.
Yeah. They did say, what did they say? 50,000. It's the equivalent of 50,000, taking 50,000 cars off the road.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if
crazy.
that's for 10 years or I don't know what.
Yeah, like for how long? For a day?
Yeah, I don't know. They weren't that clear, but
When I got the
my car
16,
did have some
the
exhaust
first thing,
problems.
Yes.
Sorry. When I got the 16, the first thing that happened is that charger actually never came out of the box because I'm using a gallium nitride charger that has two
those GaN
100s.
chargers. Yeah.
And, oh my goodness,
They're great.
The hyper disc or whatever one, it's amazing. So I never have taken my Apple charger out of the box. It's still in there.
So the new iPad Air has a Type-C charger.
Yes.
Which means you probably could use Type-C PD to charge it, I would think, which means that you'll be glad to have that GaN charger because you could have a Type-C to Type-C. and charge it extra fast. Did they say the iPad Air won't come with a charger? They didn't, which means it will.
Let's see what's in the box.
didn't
Let's see
mention
tech specs.
What's in the box? You can actually, we could actually verify
It
this.
says iPad Air USB-C charger cable 1 meter and 20-watt USB-C
it comes with
power
a charger.
adapter.
Yeah. Type C, 20 watt too, which is nice. That's great.
So in theory, what happens on that 20-watt too, you can actually charge your 16-inch really, really slowly, because we forgot the GAN one day and I stole the one from my iPad
Yes. It just
Pro
yeah.
and I used it. And overnight it did recharge the 16, but it takes like 8 hours.
Right. This is, by the way, one of the problems with the Type C. It's all over the place. And in fact, you got to, apparently, I thought, oh, for sure, anything that charges via Type C will have some sort of governor on it so that it doesn't break it when you plug it into a 100-watt charger. Apparently, that's not the case. I'm not going to name names. Well, I'll name names. I bought an iFi Hip DAC, it's called, which is a really nice solid-state headphone amplifier and digital to analog converter. So you'd plug it into the Type-C port of your laptop, and it would give you a headphone jack, but it's got a better DAC than the one in the laptop. It's really good. I like it. It's got battery. And you charge it because it has a battery. And mine died. And I contacted them. They said, oh, you got to use the cable that came with it. I said, what? The charger that came with it. I said, what? I said, yeah, you probably were getting people frying them with the high wattage chargers. So that's a problem. Type-C is a mess. It's just a mess. But so maybe that's why they're bundling it. So they can say, use our charger. You don't want to use more than 20 watts or something. I mean, I'm sure Apple's putting limiter in there, but that's not
guarantee.
Cool. Yeah. Apple wouldn't. But this is a fairly fancy device. Here's the chat room's giving me this link to 1.0 on Medium. USB-C was supposed to simplify our lives. Instead, it's a total mess. Why is Apple going all in on C? Is this the beginning of the end of the Lightning cable, Lory, you think?
Well, there was the mandate from Europe that all devices had to have had to support USB-C. So I'm sure that has something to do with it. I'm wording this wrong. I don't think that it's literally it has to be a USB-C port, but I think that you have to be able to use USB-C somehow with it because that's the mandate. So I'm sure that has something to do with it. Yeah.
And USB 4 is coming, which will also use that style connector. I don't suppose this is a USB 4 device, but nevertheless,
probably not.
Makes sense to move everything to the same connector eventually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let's see. All right. So I completely got out of order here. I'm all over the place.
There's just so many exciting things to talk about.
Usually I try to go chronologically, but I got overexcited. I got way overexcited. Let's take a break.
I love the colors of the
I want to
Air,
talk about that.
I love the
In
colors.
fact, my initial reaction when Micah and I were watching the stream, we were covering it, is, oh boy, this is a problem. When they're pushing the colors and the new bands and the new colors of the watches, the new colors of the iPads, that means they don't have much inside to show off. That's what Detroit did. Once cars got to be as good as cars are going to be for a while, they started making every model year look different so that you'd look at it and go, oh, I have the old one. But I was wrong. So we're going to get to the watch. What's new in the watch? They did announce an Apple One bundle. And I'm very curious what you all think about that, especially about the pricing and the new Fitness Plus app. But we'll get to that in just a little bit. Our show today, by the way, great to have you. Doc Rock visiting us from Hawaii, where he is quarantining on the beach. Jeez.
Right near the beach, boy.
I know. Actually, it's probably a little frustrating because you can't go to the beach. You just... What would Duke say, right?
Yes.
You could go, well, you could bring your board down to the beach and surf. You're allowed to do that, right? Or
and
no?
I just bought brand new, Ihnatko Speedos. I had them custom printed.
Oh, nice. Nice. You got the Chris Evans model, I hope.
Yes.
Andy Ihnatko's also, I'm not going to say anymore. Andy Ihnatko's also here, WGBH commentator at ihnatko.com. Good to see you. and the wonderful Lory Gill, senior managing editor at, I just added the senior there, managing editor. It has nothing to do with your age, Lory. I'm just saying. It has,
Now that you know how old I am.
No, it has nothing to do with that. Managing editor at iMore.com. Our show today brought to you by Worldwide Technology, WWT, there in St. Louis. What a great company. I am so proud to be partnered with them. We went out to see them in St. Louis. It was the last trip I'll ever make, back in March. And it was an amazing experience to see that advanced technology center that they've built. They're an enterprise technology company. They help big business, government, hospitals install new technology, integrate technology, use cloud, everything that, those kinds of things. And they are one of the things that they did that I thought was so smart. And they started doing this 10 years ago. They started building something they called the ATC, the Advanced Technology Center, because they realized if we're going to recommend and sell this stuff, we need to know it. We need to be able to build pilots and proofs of concept. So we better get all this gear. So they've basically been accumulating the latest, greatest enterprise technology in the Advanced Technology Center. The lab contains more than $500 million in equipment from hundreds of OEMs, key partners ranging from heavyweights like NetApp and Cisco to emerging disruptors like Equinix. This is why WWT is a trusted partner. People stay with forever. The customers have been with them for more than a decade because they know that's where they can go to get the answers they need to make sure their business runs right. And the commitment the WWT engineers have to really understand how this stuff works so that they can, recommend it and configure it and make it work. This is what they use the ATC for. They spin up proofs of concept and pilots using the ATC sandbox. It helps customers confidently select the best solutions and reduces the concept time from months down to weeks, increasing, of course, the speed to market. On-demand and schedulable labs like NetApp Cloud Volumes on Tap or NetApp Storage Grid or NetApp Disaster Recovery as a Service, DRAS, along with hundreds of other labs representing the newest advances in every area of enterprise technology: flash storage, multi-cloud, hyper-converged infrastructure, cloud data management, and more. There's the DRAS solution. And the thing is, you can right now use that lab yourself. They offer Lab as a Service. I'm going to call it LAS, a dedicated lab space inside the ATC where you can perform programmatic testing using their massive ecosystem of tech that they've put together. And because it's virtual, you don't have to go to St. Louis to do it. You can use it anywhere in the world, anytime, 24/7. Join the WWT engineers working in these labs every day, beta testing new equipment, building reference architectures and custom integrations. This new digital platform, they launched it last summer, creates a multiplier effect of knowledge, speed, and agility anytime, anywhere around the world for their customers. Not just the labs, by the way. Look at all the articles, case studies, all sorts of tools to help you understand technologies better to make the right choices for your business. Look, enterprise technology is moving really fast right now, faster than ever. And that's what WWT can make such a difference for you, because they understand it and they can help you integrate it. To learn more and discover why organizations across every industry turn to WWT to guide them on their journey of digital transformation, visit WWT.com/twit. While you're there, create that My WWT account so that you can get to the ATC ecosystem and start using it for yourself. WWT.com/twit. WWT, delivering business and technology outcomes around the world. We're really proud to be partnered with WWT, and we look forward to finding out how you like it too. If you go to WWT.com/twit, let me know. All right, let's start from the very beginning. It's the very best place to start. Tim Cook comes out on, where does he? He looks like he's in the hall of the spaceship campus, this beautiful, painless glass curve looking out over the beautiful. And then I'm realizing, first of all, these shots, as Tim says, now let's take a look, are droning through the glass and out into the world. Then I'm looking a little closely, and it looks like Tim's teeth are a little blue. I don't know, did you notice that? Like he's been eating gummy bears. And I realized—
I didn't notice that.
It's a green screen.
Oh.
It's a green screen.
tricked.
Now,
He's been
Scooter X
tricked.
says Tim was there and it's not green screen. But if that's the case, he needs to go see a dentist because his teeth were blue.
You know what it could be, Leo?
What?
I live in a very predominantly glass building, and the
light.
coating that they have on the glass in order to make it strong and protect it, it does cast a bluish purplish type tint. You know what I mean? But there's no actual tint on the glass. It's just the way the glass is built. So that could be part of it. But I think what happened at the very beginning is a normal shot. I think a lot of the rest of it is green screen. We had this conversation, over.
Yeah, this is what you do for a living. You're a video production guy. So, and clearly, when you, first of all, I have to say it's nice they're not live because they were really able to do some Hollywood great production effects. When it started off, you're going into that animated graphic and like it was going into intestines. And then the intestines turned into a heart and they're going, and you're zooming and suddenly you come out of the alimentary canal into the hall and there's Tim coming your way. And there's beautiful drone shots. I loved the shot. They're demonstrating the altimeter in the watch, that shot up to that. I don't know if it was a fire watch station or something, 8,000 feet above sea level. And the woman was walking up the stairs. That was wasn't that a beautiful shot, man?
So we came up with, they dropped her up there by helicopter because they paid her and told her to walk up 9,000 steps to get to the top. Number one, she wouldn't look so sprightly and fresh at the top. And number two, she would have been pissed. She's like, how much did my agent charge for this? So we came to the conclusion they dropped her halfway up and she only had to crawl maybe 30, 40 steps.
So maybe it wasn't a drone. Maybe it was a helicopter shot.
Yeah, it was beautiful, though. We did come up to the conclusion that they did the floor levels based on rank until Tim came down to have lunch with Lisa towards the end. He was down at the bottom. So we discovered that Tim was on the top floor, and El Jefe, Tim number 2 probably, was on the second from the top floor. And then they worked their way down. Lisa was at the bottom.
Poor Lisa. Poor Lisa.
Bottom of the tier,
she's down she's on the ground floor for crying out loud.
No way, she's a mere nature.
Trees.
Trees.
Yeah,
okay.
Trees
she wanted
and
to be there. But then the other dude, the new guy, they stuck him in the outhouse. Like he was in the middle, and then he came through. Madarina, whatever Hicks' name was, the new guy.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah, so he was in the Steve Jobs Theater. So, he didn't have the greatest locale.
So they were lining people up.
But you can't tell me. Now, look at this. Look at his teeth. look at his teeth. They're blue. You can't tell me that this is not a green screen. That's a green screen.
Yes.
I don't know. I see reflections behind him, which I realize
it
could
is.
be
You can see his head reflection. That's just a really good green screen.
It could be. You're right. It could be. I think it might just be just bad lighting, not blue. Because I don't see blue the way you're talking about. I see darkness in his mouth, which could just be bad lighting.
All right. It's a silly thing to worry about. It doesn't really matter.
Lory, it sounds like I see darkness in his mouth. That seems like a projection.
I see darkness in your mouth.
One of my aunts used to say that if you tell a lie, your teeth and tongue turn black. So maybe because he is doing a lot of marketing talk during this show.
All right. I'm sorry, Tim. I
when
don't want to
focus on. When he talks about how much he's running, he's actually lying about it.
I'm just saying his teeth match his eyes. I'm just saying. It's just I'm just saying.
So Tim's last one, or he got some more in him before he goes?
You know what? Oh, he's got lots more. You know what? Tim is a god. He deserves every penny he gets. He's close to being a billionaire, which is unusual for a non-founder CEO, and he deserves
it. He's retire soon. I think so.
Yeah, he's got a couple more years. Look, he's my age.
Oh yeah,
he's got a couple more years, old man.
No, I don't mean retired because he's old, just because he want to let somebody else do it.
He's younger than me. He's 59, so he's not. He's got a few years left. He could stay as long as he wants. The board's never going to kick him out.
Oh God, no.
You know what? I was surprised because Joswiak had tweeted, "Can't wait to see you. Our event's coming up." I thought for sure he would take Phil Schiller's traditional role in these announcements, and they never showed Greg Joswiak, never got on stage, which is fine. I mean, they had other people doing a great job, but I was a little surprised. I thought this was going to be his debut.
No slight on the people who did present, but these are sort of, if this were the iPhone event, those are the tier 2 products. So I'm
they're
thinking
saving
he'll
Jaws.
show up on the iPhone event. Yeah,
they're saving Jaws for later. They did have Jeff Williams, the COO. I mean, that is Tim Cook's. That's Tim Cook's old job. That's how Tim got to be CEO. It's an important job, and he was given the job of showing off the new S6 chip. So that takes us to the Apple Watch. The S6, he says, is the equivalent of what the chip, the A11, I think he said, chip, except it's specially, smaller and specially designed to be a low-power chip for the watch. He says the chip is so power efficient that we can double the brightness of the always-on watch screen. That's great news. Let me just show you real quickly the drone shot as we go into, we go through Silicon Valley faster and faster and faster. I would like to know where this is, Doc Rock. That's where I want to go. Look at that. I thought it was the Great Wall of China at first, but I didn't think they went that far. And you're right. There's no way she's a little sweaty. There's no way.
I'm going to say this is Spanish Alps.
Is that where it is? Okay.
I'm just guessing. Don't listen to me.
Okay. It's pretty wherever it is. I feel like it's a Firewatch station, right? That's
gorgeous.
Yeah.
It looks like Minecraft.
It does. It's a Minecraft installation.
It also looks like it must have been filmed like after the fire started in California.
Oh yeah, there's no smoke.
Hazy.
Oh, is it?
Mashed
Oh yeah.
Potato said it's Luke Skywalker's hideout. That's true.
That's right.
Luke was up there.
Where's those weird birds? Where's those weird puffins?
Yeah.
Look at that.
That is gorgeous. I want to know where that is too now.
Yeah. Well, it was in porgs. That's what we need. More porgs. I never thought I'd say that.
Yeah. I've got one right here.
Look. So our chat room, who is always amazing, has pinpointed that as the Sierra Buttes Fire Lookout. It's a historic fire lookout in Northern California in, I guess, Sierra County. I'm not sure. You can see Mount Lassen. Yeah, it's a lot clearer in this picture than it was when she was there. So you might be right. Yeah.
Yeah.
8,000.
I've gone camping in the Buttes, so that is a really beautiful area.
Oh, gorgeous. Intense stairs at the end. If you're afraid of heights, make sure you get Tim Cook's helicopter.
I don't doubt that she climbed the whole thing. I don't think that I would not assume that until
until told otherwise.
If it were me, yes, I would insist upon it. I'd probably insist upon the green screen just because of the altitude.
Oh, I'm going there though. This looks beautiful.
They should have came to the Makapu'u stairs over here.
They do have porgs. Look at that. Oh, that's a marmot. I'm sorry. Look at that. She climbed that, you think, Andy?
Wow.
What?
I wouldn't necessarily doubt it.
All right.
Well, actually, look at that view. That's actually not that big of a climb.
It's only 180 steps.
Also,
that's not too bad.
Also, do you think
with your eyes closed?
Yeah.
Do you think it's less dangerous to your health to climb all those stairs or to do a helicopter drop?
Yeah, no, good point. Good point. No, you're absolutely right.
Unless she's an ex-SEAL.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Don't keep scrolling, Leo, because you're going to come to a teddy bear where somebody fell off in 1985.
No.
I fell off
no.
in 2002.
Do not fall off, okay? See, it is more dangerous than we thought. All right. Are you surprised there's so much processor in the I think Andy, was it Andy? You nailed it. We're silicon, baby. Get ready, because everything we make is suddenly going to be supercharged. Take that, Intel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes you wonder how much processing power is required for that BluDento sensor. That it's not like they have another system on a chip that's doing the O2 sensing. It really is just let's get a whole bunch of light readings and do a whole bunch of processing on that. But yeah, it's weird when you see that much power inside a Series 6, particularly how much power is at a premium on one of these watches. I wonder what that discussion is like time after time. Where do we do things like give people a brighter display, or do we give people an extra day of battery life?
Right. Now, when Samsung announced new features in their Samsung Watch, like a blood oximeter and a VO2 max and stuff. We got all excited and they said pending FDA approval. I didn't hear any of that language from Apple. I didn't see any of it on the site, so I presume they got it.
They listed about a half dozen countries in which they have approval for it so far.
Yeah,
including
that's great.
the US.
That's really great.
Well,
I think that's why it wasn't like this technology has been around for at least 2 years at this point. It's appeared in other devices, but those devices launched without support for it. It said pending FDA approval. So I think Apple purposefully postponed including this sensor till this version, the Series 6.
Right.
Specifically because they want it to be available out the gate. They don't want to have to wait 6 months before. They wanted to make sure that this was something that people had right away instead of talking about how great it is and then telling people you don't get it yet. So, although some countries don't get it yet, actually most countries don't get it yet, really.
No, U.S., Canada, and Australia, right? New Zealand, maybe. What were you saying, Doc Rock? I'm sorry.
No, I was saying one of the cool things and probably why they get their certifications quicker than, say, others is they do so much with sending information to their research partners. And they talked about it a little bit today, but that stuff is big. I mean, that's quite amazing, like what you can do and like the stuff that it comes up with, So I think it's very helpful. I did trigger a noise alert once, and it kind of freaked me out because I forgot it did that. And it was like, listen, you're somewhere that's pretty loud for kind of long. Like, you should stick your.
I think that's great.
Yeah,
God, I just
stuck my AirPods in.
Yeah, I don't hear anything. No, I really appreciate that. I think that they've done. There's no. Initially, the Apple Watch to me seemed like kind of candy, but now I don't leave home without it. I mean, I really do think. And one of our staffers who has sleep apnea bought his first Apple Watch today because the oximeter you wear it while you're sleeping, and you'll have a record of if you had any issues breathing at night. I think this could be. They've talked a lot. They always talk about saving lives, and how and I kind of don't like that too much because I think it's a mistake to imply that it's
Leo.
I know it does, but those are
lives.
anecdotal, handful of examples. Of course it does. But it shouldn't be treated as a medical device. Like, it's not. Oh, I don't have to go to the doctor. I got an ECG on my wrist. Is not the case.
No,
right.
But you have to really give Apple credit that like Lory said, that these sensors have been around for a while. But Apple's real magic is not only packaging it in such a good watch, but also expressing those features so well. Like, no, it's not just push a button and 15 seconds later on demand you get a saturation level. It is periodic background readings throughout the entire course of the day. The real advantage of all this data that's collecting is not so much its ability to you take your watch out of the box for the first time. You haven't owned one of these watches in 4 years, and then sort of brace yourself for what it tells you after the first half hour of having it on your wrist. It's more like after it taking so much data about what is your normal, it can tell you that something is not necessarily normal. I mean, the times where maybe you exerted yourself a little bit too much and you were wondering, am I having an episode or an issue right now? Or is it just, okay, it's because you're climbing those stairs with like 30 pounds for groceries and you just made like 4 flights of stairs. It has the ability to tell you that, well, this is an hour later, you're still normal. You come back to normal. That's where the blood oximeter is so handy. Not so much that it's telling you that your blood saturation is down to 88%. Oftentimes, it's just handy to know that I don't know why I'm feeling so weird right now. I'm going to take this on. Nope, it's at 98%. That's your normal stuff. Really, and I think that the last two things for the Apple Watch to figure out now is blood pressure and blood sugar levels. Once they manage to figure out a way to do both of those things, boy,
that's something you must have. Yeah, I agree.
It'll almost be a crime against humanity to limit it to iPhone users at that point.
Right.
If I may be incorrect on this, but if it's my understanding that a blood oxygen monitor requires you to be completely relaxed and not moving a bunch.
No, I don't think
in order
so.
to actually monitor do the monitor, which is why it's during
overnight?
the daytime. So Apple has two different things. They say you can test your blood oxygen level in 6 seconds, and that's where you're manually doing it in the middle of the day. And then it has the secondary thing where it records your blood
long-term.
oxygen level through the night while you're sleeping. So I don't think necessarily it's something that's going to alert you if you've just climbed up and down the stairs. I think that you have to actually manually do it during the daytime, where it's going to recommend that you sit down, relax, don't move, and then hold your button, hold the sensor. Again, I might be wrong, but it is. I believe that that's part of the process of the blood oxygen monitor.
Because of COVID, I bought a blood oximeter because that's an important diagnostic tool. If you do get COVID, if your blood oxygen starts to dip, that's when you call the hospital real quick. And it just goes on my thumb. It's pretty much the same kind of sensor Apple has. It's just, beaming light into your blood vessels. And it doesn't say stand still or anything.
It doesn't.
It gives you a continuous reading, and I'm able to, and it's good. I mean, it's great to have that. And I figured if something goes wrong, if I get COVID, I'll have that. But now it'll be in the watch. I think that's really fantastic. As somebody
And that reminds me of the
50-year-old test. When you go for your 50-year-old test, they put the thing in your mouth, the oximeter on your finger, and you walk on a treadmill.
That's the stress test.
You're definitely not stationary. So you're moving while you're
okay.
And you'll see a lot of the elite athletes wearing one while they're, setting themselves up for Olympic trials or whatever.
Right.
So yeah, you don't have to be still.
My doctor, I'm well past 50. My doctor never did that. I think he's afraid it'll kill me. Those stress tests look stressful. Was it hard?
No, it was kind of hard because I got bad knees, but it wasn't super hard. But I was more worried about my colonoscopy.
Oh God, yeah. Let's not talk about that. That's not.
Literally, let's not talk about that.
No, I told him, whatever you do, don't leave your Apple Watch in there.
He does not put his hand anywhere in there. I just want to say now.
For the trade-in value right now, it'd come in handy.
So as somebody, Evil John, said in our chat room, the Apple Watch improves more lives than it saves directly. And that's okay. And I think that's exactly right. There's no question. It's improved my life. And I think the addition of this new Fitness Plus thing, this is the thing that has long been rumored as Project Seymour. I think this is going to be very interesting. They're taking a page from Peloton's book. What is that? There are a couple of mirrors that you have a screen that's trainers work, and you're looking at the trainer while you're working out. There are a number of startups doing this. I think they all have to feel like they were a little bit Sherlocked by Seymour, because this is going to be really. I'm very excited about Fitness Plus. Jay Blahnik, who's of course a kind of celebrity trainer, demonstrated it. It looks like there are spin classes, there's yoga, there's dancing. I wouldn't mind taking a dance class. It could be on your Apple TV. If you've got the watch on and you're on your Apple TV, it's getting your heart rate and stats from the watch and displaying them on the Apple TV, so you know if you're working or working harder. I think this is a really, really interesting product. I'm very excited about this.
Yeah. When you do the dance class, I really want you to stream that.
I'll stream it. I'll do it on the Doc Rock channel if you want.
Pay-per-view. I want to see Leo cut.
I'm a good dancer.
This Sunday, Leo Laporte. America's Got Talent.
Well, I didn't say I have talent. So Fitness Plus isn't out yet. It won't be out. In fact, they said till late 2020. You'll get 3 months free when you buy the Apple Watch, and then after that, it'll be $9.99 a month or $80 a year, which I think is and 1 month free for current Apple Watch owners. And that, I think, is a fairly good price, given that you get a family membership. So Lisa and I and Michael can all use it for that $10 a month. I think that's actually Peloton, just the app, is $13 a month. So I think that's actually a very competitive price, even more competitive when you add it to the new Apple One bundle. So before we move on to Apple One, any thoughts about the Fitness Plus?
Oh, I think it's killer.
Are you excited? Do you?
Well, at the time, I've been, me myself, I've been slacking on the fitness.
Me too.
Get that straight.
Yeah. You gained the COVID-10.
My old lady find stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, my COVID-10 is COVID-20. Hawaii has excellent food.
Macaroni salad, some poi, a little Spam. Suddenly,
You don't even know.
That sounds
It just starts to swell. It was really funny too. We were just recently talking about that breakfast place that was across from the college. Was it Haley's or Helena's?
oh,
or
Hallie's,
something?
yeah.
Hallie's. Oh my goodness, we were just talking about that.
That was
place is off the
good.
chain,
Yeah.
off the chain.
Yeah.
But as you know, just the idea of they're doing this, and I've been doing a lot of searching to find workouts, both for the old lady and for my niece, because my niece, she's getting into competitive swimming and now she's not able to go into the pool. So we've been finding her things, and where she lays on the piano bench and practice, her strokes and everything.
Yeah.
And so this virtual class situation is already been growing, and like the Peloton thing is.
Oh, I do Peloton
It's good,
3 or
but-
4 times a week. It's very
Really?
expensive. I got it years ago. The bike is thousands of dollars, and I think I pay like $30 a month for the classes. But like Apple Fitness Plus, because you can watch classes on demand, but they're also live classes, and you can see the other people in the classes, and the instructors talk to the people in the classes. It's really more like taking a real spin class, and I actually love it. So I think Fitness Plus is going to be huge. I think this is exactly what we should have had.
I think I'm gonna reserve my judgment. I like what it sounds like it has to offer, but I think and I think I speak for a lot of people in this world, is that we think it's going to be great until we try it, and then we find out that we're not dedicating ourselves to it enough. So
that's
on the
that's
one
every
hand,
gym membership in the world, right? I mean,
that was
Right,
Xbox
but-
Fitness for sure.
well, that's what I was saying, Doc Rock. Microsoft did this with the Kinect. And the Kinect saw your heart rate. It actually had a very similar product. I used like twice. Right? Then I got back to Destiny and it was all over.
Well, remember where their team is now, right? Their team is in Cupertino. It does live on. But the thing about the Xbox version, any of the classes that were paid oriented was ridiculously expensive.
That's right.
So it became a non-starter. But at $79 a year,
nothing.
that was actually the cost of like one of the Julian Michaels program.
Right.
So that's
And you get
why
it for the whole family. Everybody
and
can
you
use
get
it.
more than one style. The Julian Michael
Right.
stuff was just, playing off of the TV show.
Right.
But like the yoga stuff would be like another 100, and then the dance lesson was you bought the game, Dance Revolution or what the heck it was called.
Yeah, that's the one I
2020.
did. Yeah,
Just
yeah.
Dance 2020.
Right.
And that was another $80.
Right.
So already this is cheaper.
Strength, yoga, treadmill, rowing. I have a rowing machine too. I'm telling you, you're not gonna believe, I'm gonna look like Jay Blahnik next year. Including the
Everybody in Hawaii has a rowing machine. It's just you put it in the actual water. And
it's called a boat. Yeah. Hey, if I could do an outrigger, I would do that in a heartbeat. Oh man, on Waikiki Beach, I'd be there, man. Me and Duke. By the way, they got a name for your Darth Vader. It's Duke Vader.
Duke Vader, yeah. I'm gonna change his name now.
Duke Vader, for sure. So they've got a bunch. It looks like they hired trainers specifically to do this. They've got a bunch of workouts. Here's an example on the Apple page. We're looking at yoga classes, 5 minutes to 45 minutes. You choose the music because it comes from Apple Music, and they even pointed out you can download those playlists yourself. I don't think doing yoga to country music is my cup of tea, but I'm sure somebody will want to do that.
there's a yoga place in my neighborhood that does heavy metal yoga.
Oh, man, that doesn't sound relaxing.
Yeah.
It gives
They
me
really
a
want
meaning
you
to the
to-
warrior pose. I'll have to say that. I think this is really interesting. And I think that Apple is, if nothing else, Apple is going to make a huge difference in the overall fitness of the world. And that's something to be proud of. That's pretty impressive, you know?
It's interesting to see them expanding their fitness brand now beyond the Apple Watch. And yes, this service helps to sell more Apple Watches or helps to justify the purchase of Apple Watches. But it makes you wonder what other pieces of hardware, what other kind of services they've either considered and rejected. Like, wouldn't it be interesting if they had, if they were developing, instead of doing the entire sleep tracking through the watch, here is a device you can slip between your mattress and your box spring that would add much better sensors than that. If this really does underscore that, whereas other people have, other companies have fitness watches that happen to have health features, for Apple, health really is an entire product category in and of itself. So
Yeah.
can't wait to see what they're doing in the next couple of years.
Yeah. Really, really
I
interesting.
wonder how the mindfulness one is going to be, because I use Calm like right now. Like
Love it.
Because I need to. I'm way too high strung. So I do the Calm session in the morning, and I do the other one when I'm trying to lay down and go to sleep. And they've had incredible like guest speakers and stuff that come on the Calm. The LeBron James story in Calm was pretty,
I love those.
Pretty good. That was so good.
Yeah.
So Chuck MQ was saying, like, I wonder how the mindfulness sessions are. I'm curious about that as well.
Calm, I should mention, is a sponsor, but I also should mention I'm a Kaiser member here in California, and they offer Calm for free.
Wow.
Given how much you're paying for insurance that you're not using, I think that's pretty good. That's nice of them. Thank you. I appreciate it. So Fitness Plus will be a part of the what is the Apple One top bundle, like the Apple One Supreme?
Premier.
Okay.
Premier or premium, but that's the money saver.
Premium.
There.
Premier. Yeah.
Yeah, because So I couldn't do the math fast enough.
So I already do cloud and music at $10 a pop.
Right.
And when the end of the year runs out and my Apple TV Plus runs out, that'll be another $5. So that's the 25 right there.
Yeah.
So I'm already covered. So to get fitness and news, I don't.
News Plus, I don't care. iCloud though, Arcade.
iCloud is kind of woofy.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to come out. It'll come out like amazing. I'm already going to save automatically, even though I'm not a fan of Apple News. I'm not a fan of Apple Arcade, but iCloud I already used the 2 terabyte plan. So yeah, I'm going to come out big. But you also get family with premium or Premier, I believe. So you're actually getting more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
$30 a month for
that.
Premiere. You get Apple Music, Apple TV Plus. So what is Apple Music now? Is it 8, 10 a month?
It's 10.
10?
But it's 15 if you have it on the family
So
plan.
we should only do the family plan because this is a family plan. So 15, and then Apple TV Plus is, how much is that, 5?
5.
It's
20.
5, and that is
Arcade
including
is
a family plan.
25. Apple News Plus is another 10.
10.
35. Fitness, they said, is 10, 45. And 2 terabytes of cloud storage, which is how much a month? For 10. So that's $55. And you get the family version for $30. And it can be shared among 6 people. So it is a deal.
Yeah. I especially like that they took the 2 things that are maybe the least value adds for the most people, News Plus and Fitness Plus, and they made that part of the Premier package. It's not as though, gee, I really, really want TV Plus, but I have to go to Premier in order to get that as part of the bundle. I think that this is a very, very nicely laid out plan, although I will still say that 15 for the individual plan, $15 a month, and you get 50 gigabytes.
That's not much.
50.
Yeah.
It really is at this point like a phone with 32 gigs of storage. It's like, okay, I mean, it's a number. It's just not a very useful number.
So
It's frustratingly low.
Yeah. In the U.S., 50 gigabytes of Apple storage is normally $1 a month, so it's not really a lot of value. But 2 terabytes would be $10 a month. So, I mean, I think that the $30, if you have a family and you're going to use enough of these, you have to do the math yourself to make it worthwhile. You're right. I probably wouldn't pay for Apple News Plus. I will definitely pay for Fitness Plus. Music, I guess, this is a great way to get somebody on Spotify to go, well, if we cancel the Spotify and, our Apple TV in November 1st, right, Lory, is going to start costing money and...
Right.
You start adding it up. Arcade, I lived without for a while. I don't really need Arcade. I think you'd have to do the math
San Mateo mentioned something that I did not know. He said, Leo, you should find News Plus of value because you get the UK Linux mag, which is $10 on the newsstand. I forgot about the magazines and news.
Yeah, that's the whole point of News Plus.
I just ignored it for news, but I forgot about the magazines. So that actually might make it even better.
If I were Spotify, I might be a little worried. In fact, they are. They sent out statements to the press decrying Apple's anti-competitive behavior and calling on competition authorities to stop Apple before it's able to cause irreparable harm to developers. Once again, they wrote, Apple's using its dominant position and unfair practices to disadvantage competitors and deprive consumers by favoring its own services. We call on competition authorities to act urgently to restrict Apple's anti-competitive behavior, which left unchecked will cause irreparable harm to the developer community. Now, I have to say, all this means is, sorry, EU, you're not going to get Apple One. Right? Because I don't think in the U.S. you're going to see an antitrust action over this. I can see why Spotify's hopping mad.
Yeah. Also, is Fitness Plus available worldwide yet? I think it was just limited to.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they couldn't even do that.
I don't know. In fact, let me look and see where Apple One is available, because it might not be available worldwide, which would be kind of interesting, wouldn't it? We don't know because it's coming later this year, and I don't see a available where. Starting this fall. Oh,
yeah, I'm scrolling
Premier
down.
Plan Australia, Canada, the UK, and US. So stick it, competition authorities. Well, is Spotify, I mean, let's be fair. I guess their position is what? Apple, by manufacturing the iPhone and now offering this plan, is taking advantage of us because we can't compete because we don't own the platform.
I honestly don't understand.
I mean, doesn't that, like, if all of these companies got together and said we should set a price for services like music services, isn't that anti-competitive behavior because you're demanding that everybody stay at one high price? So it seems to go the exact opposite of what I understand anti-competitive behavior to be.
Well, but bundling like this has historically been a problem. Remember, that's what got Microsoft in trouble with the EU and the Department of Justice, because they bundled the browser in with Windows. This is like that, I guess.
Well, Spotify could easily link up with another manufacturer and be like, hey, let's generate some sort of a bundle.
Right.
I mean, terrestrial TV that became cable have been doing this for decades, right? Like the only way to get HBO was to have this cable bundle. So Spotify got a little skinny argument that they're leaning on, and they're trying to be Swedish House Mafia, but unfortunately Spotify is just not going to work. And I know you're a little angry because you gave Joe Rogan like way too much cake, but figure it out, man.
By the way,
figure out how you're going to get your money back.
Joe Rogan is looking for somebody to debate Donald Trump. Maybe you'd do that, Doc Rock. I don't know if Biden can take 4 hours of debating. 4 hours with Joe Rogan.
Just for Joe. Just for Joe, I would do it.
I thought that was kind of an interesting play on Joe Rogan's part. He said, "Look, let's have a debate between Biden and Trump," and then he threw in the 4 hours, which, I mean, these guys are in their late 70s. Will there be pee breaks, Joe? Anyway, I can understand why Spotify's miffed, maybe in the EU. Now, I'm no expert on antitrust law, but I have heard it said many times the EU's antitrust law is designed to protect consumers. In the United States, antitrust law is more designed to protect competitors. Or no, it's the other way around.
Mark, yeah.
Right? In the U.S., we're trying to protect companies. In the EU, they're trying to protect consumers. I think it would be hard to justify how consumers are hurt by this.
Yep.
Unless Spotify goes out of business. But Apple only owns a small portion of the overall market. It's not dominant by any means.
You look at Verizon. Verizon has been bundling Netflix and Spotify and Hulu for free forever.
Right.
They're doing it themselves right now. They're just mad because Apple has it. But imagine if there is no quote unquote Android. There's a bunch of things that make up the nebulous nature of Android.
Right.
But if there were a single company Android and they said they were going to put Spotify as their de facto dude, this wouldn't be a conversation.
You know what Apple should just do is they should say, okay, you have a choice. You could have Apple Music or Spotify for the same price, and see how many people just choose Apple Music. That'd be one way to handle it.
Yeah. I just don't understand where the argument comes from. I think that if the government is going to be interested in stuff like that, they should be more interested in AT&T offering subscribers free access to HBO Max.
Right. That's a net neutrality issue. Yeah.
That the entire company owns the entire bundle. That's the sort of stuff that they should be working on.
Yeah, I agree. Well, we'll see. Spotify hopping mad, but as a consumer, I can't remember whether the EU protects me or the US protects
markets.
No, it doesn't.
Where's Alex?
You know, who explained this to me, I think it was Amy Webb. But anyway, it mocks Nix because there's no antitrust regulation in the United States unless you own social media networks, and Apple doesn't. They were wise. Stay out of that. That's for sure. The Apple One individual plan offers savings of over $6 a month. Family plan offers savings of over $8 a month. Premier plan offers a savings of over $25 a month compared to the individual bundle. So in every respect, you save a considerable amount of money. And there's all sorts of little, details like if you already subscribe to any of these services, they will be free during your trial. You won't be billed for them. There's all sorts of interesting little things. I think I would wish Apple would push this out now. I'm signing up. I'm ready.
Yeah. Just to clarify, I've got the FTC.gov page on antitrust laws. Free and open markets are the foundation of a vibrant economy.
Okay.
Aggressive competition among sellers gives consumers, both individuals and businesses, the benefits of lower prices, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So laws promoting vigorous competition.
That makes sense. U.S. protects companies. EU protects consumers. So I don't know. They're going to have it's hard to show how consumers would be hurt by this. Unless, as I said, all the other companies go out of business. But that's another matter. All right. So have we covered the watch in every bit of detail?
Well, the Series 6.
Well, we haven't talked about.
Oh, the SE.
Right.
We got the SE.
Oh, and the colors of the
all
Series
the
6
colors
too.
of the rainbow. They're beautiful. What color did you get?
Leo, did you order one? Did you get around to ordering one before the show started?
Yeah, I did. And it turns out, because John ordered the band and the watch, but the band is coming on the 18th. The watch isn't coming until the 25th. So I think the 25th might be, unless you were really quick on the draw, the default. And I've seen some other watches, some other combinations of watch and band that are delayed till October at this point. Mm-hmm. So, and I have to say, I admit the site got really slow. I think that's a good sign for Apple, right?
Well, on the one hand, yes, that's definitely good. But there's also going to be a little bit more of supplier slowdown just because of the COVID in 2020. So I think that has something to do with it too.
I did.
And not the site slowing down, but the delay in shipping already.
I did what Doc Rock suggested. I just bought one of any kind. And then I'll change it later, right?
So what color case did you end up getting?
Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to get if I don't change it, which is the gold stainless, because I thought the aluminum stainless looked cheap. The gold stainless, I'm sorry, this is ridiculous. This is going to be such an expensive month. This is irresponsible as hell for me. The gold stainless with the leather loop, because I wasn't convinced that my measurements were accurate. But I'm going to go, because I think I would like to try that. So the two new bands they announced that don't have any clasp, one's a rubber band. I'm sorry, silicone rubber band, but I gather stretches over your hand and then snaps into place. You have to measure yourself to get that one.
Right.
And then there's
to get it so that it's not too loose or too tight. Yeah.
That's the solo loop. And then there's a solo weave, which
braided loop. Yeah.
Yeah.
Braided silicone.
I think that looks pretty good.
Recycled yarn. Yeah, I think so too. That's the one that
the
band I bought.
Yeah,
I bought that one.
And which color did you get? The blue one or the red one?
I ordered the blue aluminum because I think the blue aluminum does look good. It's like the gray aluminum. Yeah. I think that's a good looking color. I like it. I've been using the stainless steel Apple Watch, and I think I actually prefer having the color. It's just a little more swatch watch fun for me. That's just my jam. So I agree with you. I thought the product red was a little too chintzy
too red
looking.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't get that one. I got the blue, and then I got the
blue
pink
looks
band.
Nice. Pink.
But I only picked
blue and
pink band.
Oh, that's so pretty.
I only picked the pink band because I couldn't seem to get the red band to to like produce a buy button almost as if it wasn't available yet, so I can get the product red band later, because I'm all about the product red. That's
the product red
cool
band
too.
is not available.
Oh, that's it.
That's why I couldn't order it. That's why. Okay.
Now,
so
did you
I'll
use the
just get that
studio?
one later.
Because I think the studio is kind of cool, where you go.
I didn't want to waste my time.
Yeah.
I went as fast as I
you're
could
smart.
and picked whatever band I could.
And are you getting your watch when?
The 25th of November.
Okay.
So you and I are
September.
on the same page.
Yeah, I think September 25th is the soonest.
September, sorry. Yeah.
So you choose the size. And so, Doc Rock, you like the product red. You wanted to get the red one too.
Yes.
No ceramic anymore, just titanium, stainless
Oh, no, they don't
steel.
have titanium. Oh, they do have titanium.
Titanium is still
Edition.
available.
Oh,
That's
it is.
the
Okay,
edition
okay.
for 849 schmackers. Take $100 off if you're going to get stainless steel. Take $400 off if you're going to. You really pay a lot for the material, and I don't think that's really how much it costs to make. And honestly, given that you're going to be upgrading this every year from now on, it looks like you'd be a nut to buy anything but the aluminum.
Yeah, some people have that money.
I don't upgrade every year. I would not have upgraded this year if it weren't for the color. I really like the color because I'm very happy with the Series 4.
Yeah.
I think it works great. I don't need an always on screen. That was not to me last year when the Series 5 came out. It wasn't something that was an insta buy, though I know it was for a lot of people. For me, I don't care one way or another. But I really enjoyed that there was new colors. So, I think there's going to be some of us who buy things regularly every year, every 2 years, but I would have easily kept this watch, the Series 4, at least 2 more years before upgrading, had it not been for the fact that there's this beautiful new color that I wanted.
Oh, isn't that pretty? So let me just show everybody what you got. So I'll do this in the picker. So we'll go back to the blue. There's the blue. And then we're going to get a nice braided pink. Look at that.
It's pretty, right?
It's girly.
Does it show you this? Does it show you the side view?
Side view. Yes, it does.
Yeah, there you go. Do that. Yeah, look at that. Look at those colors side by side. That's so 80s.
I like the braid. It is 80s. And I do like the braid.
Yeah.
I really do.
This one, I wonder if this one, so the silicone loop actually looks a little bit more like almost like a slap wrist kind of thing. But the braid looks more like it's stretchy, like you would stretch it on.
I feel like this is like the boat shoe of watch bands. Like, you should wear it on your yacht.
Well, Renee calls the sport loop, he calls it the yoga pants of Apple Watch
and he's
bands.
right.
And
I'm wearing it
with
right
that,
now. It's
so-
very comfy. And honestly, I don't mind
Look at
it.
that new cream color.
Oh, isn't that pretty?
Back up. That one's pretty.
Back up.
Ooh, I'm going to get that one. I'm definitely going to be ordering that one.
Yeah, see, look at that. It looks like a creamsicle.
Yeah. Oh, but I don't really like the blue on the other side, though. That's not going to match the blue.
It's kind of weird.
Yeah, so maybe I won't get that one.
Yeah. You'd think they'd make it match.
Yeah. Well, speaking of matching, there are two different things in the Apple Watch announcements where they gave me almost something that I've always wanted. And one of them, when they were talking so much about watch faces, and you saw so much diversity in watch faces, I thought that they're finally going to let developers create their own watch faces.
No.
But they did something that was kind of interesting too. The things like the stripes face. That's brand new, where you have stripes of colors and you can adjust what
Customize the colors
are going to be
to match your
and
clothes.
so to match your clothes, to match your watch band.
Yeah.
The way that they have now an analog face with numbers that you can change the typography, you can change the colors of. It's still not as nice as being able to have like an unlicensed illegal Pokemon watch face like you can have on Android Wear, but at least it gives you enough flexibility that you don't feel like, I'm just another person who has just another copy of the same Apple Watch.
I was really excited about the artist collaboration because to me that means there's going to be more of those. So
Yes.
I can't wait to see more
Fettridge.
artist collaboration faces.
This is with the departure of Johnny Ive and the ascension of Hanky, and who's the guy we saw on stage? Oh, I can't remember his name. But the new guys in charge of design. I think there's some changes coming along, like a little bit more openness of faces. Notice they didn't say anything like, this is the thinnest iPad we've ever made. It was discernibly thicker than the iPad Air of previous years. I don't mind that. I think that's
Get
fine.
a load of these bezels. Can we have a special video telling you exactly about this bezel angle?
Yeah.
So
a lot
I
of
was a little
that preciousness is
distracted.
gone. Yeah.
I was a little distracted when they were announcing the iPad 4 because I was in the middle of writing something. The iPad Air 4. Can you just tell me, like, at a glance, is it the 2016 iPad Pro casing?
Looks similar. Looks really similar. Yeah.
Because it supports the
Except for the fingerprint,
Magic
obviously.
Keyboard.
Yeah. Supports
Yeah.
So that'll be the question: is if you need a new Magic Keyboard, or if the Magic Keyboard. I wonder if the Magic Keyboard with your 11-inch Pro would work with this. I don't know.
That's what I was.
I
That's
bet not.
what it sounded like. It didn't sound like they were making a special one for iPad Air 4. It sounds
Right.
like it just supports it.
Yeah, it's
which
unclear.
makes me think it's the 2016 iPad Air Pro case, just with some things that are different. That's what Apple does. They kind of move devices into cases from previous models to keep the price down, but give new features.
Right.
So that seems like it's kind of down the right pathway, at least a little bit.
Well,
Yeah.
SE. Let's talk about the SE. So this I thought really interesting new market for Apple. They talked about a family system where you don't have the kids don't have to have an iPhone. Mom or dad has the iPhone. Can pair multiple watches for the kids, and now you can give a kid a less expensive Apple Watch SE. You can if it's got cellular, you can talk to the kid. You know where the kid is. I thought that was a really interesting market. It's still an upscale market. It's not cheap, but it is less expensive. This is not the Apple Watch SE. Is it basically a Series 4? What do you think it is?
It's got the
I think
S5.
S5, so it's a slower processor, or yes or no? S5, no, that's the Apple Watch.
That's the Series 5 version.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the one I'm wearing right now, so that's not bad.
But does it have the always-on display? Did it mention always-on display for the SE? Because I think the Series 4 also has the S5 chip. I might
It
be
has some
wrong.
special watch faces for kids, which is kind of cool, for school specifically. So that's kind of neat. It's not just for kids, obviously. They're pitching Fitness Plus and all of the health features. Apparently, somebody in the chat room says it does not have ECG, so they're saving on some sensors. It does have obviously
accelerometer, right? Gyro, the fall detection, same as on the S6.
hand washing.
I just have my notes here that I was taking down during the prezo, but I have a note here that says that family setup is only compatible with cellular model watches.
That
Yeah,
makes sense. That makes sense because so you go out of the house and now you're disconnected because you don't have cellular. So you're going to be buying a more expensive watch. Mm-hmm. You're going to have to pay for the cellular.
If you have an older, I think I heard them mention that this is going to be supported on Series 4 and newer.
Okay.
So, I could hand down my Series 4 to someone in my family because I'm going to get the new one anyway. So now I have a Series 4 that someone else in my family can use. They didn't have to go buy a new one. So I think the idea is less about you going and buying a new Apple Watch for your family setup plan and more about you handing down your Apple Watch to somebody in your family that doesn't also have an iPhone
that's
without having
interesting.
to also buy them.
That's a good point. Yeah. There's something called Apple Cash Family. You can send money to your kids over the watch for doing chores. You could have allowances come in there. It's really interesting. There's special kid faces. For instance, the activity rings track move minutes instead of active calories. Running, walking, and cycling workouts also calculate metrics like distance and pace more accurately for smaller people. And look, there's a little jump rope activity, which is awesome. You approve the contacts, you approve the apps, and you can schedule a school time mode. This is the school time mode. That means the kid can't do anything, but it's a watch. It's not anything else. This is the school time mode. I think that's really clever. And all the new watches will now have Memoji faces. And the kids can design their own. There's no camera, obviously, but they can design their own Memoji using settings to pick the different features. Yeah. Family members can share their location in the Find My app. That's another reason you want cellular plus GPS, right? That's kind of the point of it. Is know where, I think for me anyway, be know where my kids are. And also to be able to call them without having to give them a smartphone. I think that's great.
Yeah.
Actually, I'll probably use this more for is I have my mother is doing the dementia thing.
They mentioned that also. Yeah, older folks. Yeah.
So like just to like we used to strap her in and with the phone, make sure the GPS was working so we can see her when she would do her walkabouts. Luckily, she's out of that phase now. But just even for them to have it on and can tell if they fell or, I don't know if it will let you see what their vitals are, but I think that would be also handy or if they're sleeping well. So I wonder how much info transfers, but it'd be cool to be able to give my mom this watch and be like, hey, lady, don't take this off.
Yeah. Yeah, this is going to be really interesting, isn't it? Yeah.
I think fall detection is probably... Renee, Leo, I think it does save lives. And I think fall detection is an example of where that can help. And being able, so I have the perfect scenario for this exact situation, which is that my partner's mom, she's older, she falls. This is something that she's doing now that she's getting older. She falls a lot. She's broken a couple of bones. So if she's wearing, and she also has an Android phone. She doesn't have an iPhone. And I can't tell her to buy an Apple Watch and an iPhone. That's too much money to spend all at once. I can't buy that for her as a gift. It's too much for me to spend. So in this way, I can hand down my Series 4 to her. She doesn't have to buy an iPhone for it. We can set up our family setup with her on it so that if she falls, I'll get the notification. She's got fall detection on the phone. We can set up location tracking so that if for some reason she's out somewhere where she's lost, there's location tracking where we can find her and get in touch with her. So it's a step in the right direction. I still really do think that Apple Watch needs to be platform agnostic, but this is definitely a step in the right direction of opening it up to people who don't have an iPhone to be able to also have the technology that the Apple Watch has.
You guys have inspired me, Doc Rock and Lory, because my mom's 87 and I worry about her falling. And I want to make sure she's always in touch. She has an iPhone. I think I'm going to have to give her an Apple Watch or give her my old Apple Watch. Yeah, that's brilliant.
If she has an iPhone, you should have been giving her your old Apple Watch a long time ago. I strongly feel that way.
It's a 6S. Will it work with a 6S? I can't
the
remember.
Series 4 works all the way back to the...
4, right?
6.
Okay.
No, I don't think it goes back all the way to the 4.
Okay.
I think it goes back to the 6.
Okay.
Maybe someone in the chat room knows better, but I think it's the 6.
You know what I would like to see, and I'm not sure if it's in there yet. Okay, so we got Sally, making her way over to, Florida, right? After Sally makes landfall, just like we got, a couple, you'd say a little more than a year back, we got the thing that popped up that said North Korea was going to bomb Hawaii because someone in Hawaii did something stupid.
Right.
It would have been cool. Like I just noticed that you fell down the I'm okay to come up. It would have been cool for the watch to pop up after that alert to then go I'm okay, because every person in my entire family called and asked me if I was all right. And I was like, no, but I did just accidentally cracking open a bottle of Yamazaki 21. So I
might as well drink it now.
Drink
it now.
$800 bottle of liquor, but
good way to go. Oh, that's because Facebook has that I'm okay thing.
Yeah.
That's Apple should do that totally.
It should be put into the watch.
Brilliant. Tim. Doc Rock's got an idea.
We get hurricane and tsunami scare every year. So just to be able to eliminate the 1,000 phone calls from home, because they think like we're in a different planet. I'm like, it's not just a little left of California, man.
Not just that, but there's I don't know if it's a Pixel exclusive on Google Android, but they have a feature in their safety and security app that says that it's a feature where if you aren't terribly sure about what your safety is going to be in the next 3 or 4 hours, you can say, if I don't check back in with this app within the next 3 or 4 hours, please send the following message to the following people along with my current location based on this device. That seems like a natural thing for the Apple Watch to do. I mean, I hate to think that a safety app is part of health, but a safety app is part of health these days.
Yeah. According to Apple, the family setup is actually coming out very soon. So this is really good news. If it does require an Apple Watch with cellular, which I'm going to give this to my mom. It works with a 6S or later, and iOS 14. This I'm giving this to my mom. This is great.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
This is great.
I really do believe that the little things about Apple Watch that have those caring for someone else features on it, I think that's going to be great. I think you're going to feel really good knowing that she's got that on her wrist. Make sure she sets up you as a contact, because if she falls, it'll contact you immediately, and it will call emergency services. So that way, you're right on top of that. You'll know what's going on.
This in their press release: optimization for older adults, WatchOS 7, which is I guess for Watch 4 or later. Optimized feature for older adults, including fall detection and a regular rhythm notification. There's also an extra large face that shows the time and a single rich complication. And there's an onboarding and configuration process designed with accessibility in mind. I think this is fantastic.
Yes.
There's a new health checklist in the health app. And, I think I'm going to get my mom Fitness Plus, because she did have somebody come over a couple of times a week to work out with her. But of course, after COVID, she's really reluctant to do that. So if I got her Fitness Plus and an Apple TV, she could also do that. That's really great. That's really great.
They're available tomorrow. So just update everything tomorrow.
Yeah.
It should be good.
WatchOS 7, as well as we should mention iOS 14 and iPadOS 14 all come out September 16th.
So much to do this week.
Busy. All right. So that's the watch. That's the Watch SE. That's WatchOS 7. That's Apple One. Have we covered everything?
iPad 2020, the standard.
All right. Let's go.
Not that big of a deal, but
That's next. We'll do a little iPad stuff also coming up. Our picks of the week. I don't know. Did we warn you, Doc Rock?
I always ready.
You got something for us?
Always ready.
Does it involve spam at all? Any kind of spam?
No spam. We're okay.
Do you eat spam, or is that just kind of a thing that we always think about Hawaiians?
I love spam. I was eating spam before I moved out here from the East Coast, because ham was one of my favorite foods, and back then ham was expensive, so spam was good.
Sure.
But I'm a military brat, so I think I was just on it ahead of the game.
I tell you, when I smoke pork butt, I feel like I'm making my own spam.
That's so good right now.
Hey,
I'm
I've been using that Traeger a lot, by the way. I made a brisket.
I haven't used it in 3 weeks because of the fires.
Well, okay, so that was I should mention. Well, we're on a little break. I should mention that Lory talked me into buying this Traeger a few MacBreak Weeklies ago, and I'm very glad I did. So I've made a couple of pork butts for the pulled pork. Love that. That's going to kill me, but I love it. And I have made a couple of briskets. I think I got brisket down. I made brisket. John had some a couple of days ago. Got up at 3 a.m, smoked it all day. It was incredible. I followed the Aaron Franklin recipe, which involves basically just salt and pepper, and it was incredible. So I am. I think I've got the brisket down. So, and the problem is my next brisket is 16 pounds. So, Lory, if you and your friend will come down, and John, and we're going to have the Pruitts, we'll all be social distance barbecue. It'll be so much fun. And Doc Rock, if you want to fly out, please be my guest.
Oh, barbecue is my specialty.
The Traeger is kind of the lazy guy's barbecue because it's a pellet. So you don't have to sit there feeding the fire or anything. I mean, I got up at 3 a.m., put it on, and went to bed.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
Pretty great.
Oh, it's so good. Oh my God, that brisket.
My barbecue requires you to dig a hole in the ground.
Oh, you do that kind. You do a whole pig.
That's how we do it out here. You got to dig a hole in the ground, throw some banana leaves, put some rocks on top.
Love that. Actually, before another thing I forgot that we should cover is the iPod update yesterday. They got their update a little earlier. We're all getting updated tomorrow with spatial audio. Have you used it, anybody, the new iPod Pro update?
I haven't. It's in the beta though, right? It's not available to the public.
Oh, it's in a beta.
That it finally appeared in the beta, so everyone will get it tomorrow. So I wasn't really sure. So the main phone that I use is not on the beta, and I didn't want to update it on the beta phone and then have it work weird on the non-beta phone. Right. So I decided not to mess with it because it's coming out tomorrow. So I
think it's official. I think it's
I might be wrong.
Yeah, I think this is the version 3A283 firmware, and it supposedly turns on spatial audio. So you'll have to go into your settings to turn it on, and then if you're watching Ted Lasso or something, something with surround sound, it'll do that. They do. Okay. Here's the deal. You're right. Even though they maybe pushed it out, you will need iOS 14 and watchOS 7 and all of the new stuff first.
To actually get the full effect of it. Okay, yeah.
So the AirPods firmware update is rolled out yesterday. You pair it to your phone or iPad, open the settings app, choose Bluetooth, look for your AirPod connection. All right. So it's not clear if that's a beta, but it does require the next generation of iOS. So even if it's not, you have to wait till tomorrow to play with it. The new iPad Nothing, I think we mentioned $329, $299 for education. New chip, the new iPad Pro, which is going to, I think, eat away. When Apple said, I was kind of stunned that the new iPad Air will have the 5 nanometer A14 chip. I thought that was a little bit of a strutting around saying, take that. Intel, because Intel's kind of still having trouble with 10 nanometers. This is half as big. So more efficient, less battery, more cores, more capabilities. I mean, nobody's saying, I don't think, that the iPad is slow. Any iPad is slow, but you can do more now. I think that's the idea. Do you think the Nvidia acquisition of ARM will make a difference to Apple?
No. There are, it's not as though they have any strategic reason to limit their current agreement with Apple. It works so well for them right now, and there's nothing they can do really to stop what Apple's doing. So no, they're good.
Yeah, in fact, Apple's chips are just they license the ARM architecture, but they're very, very custom. So there's no reason why that license would be terminated. In fact, ARM and Nvidia said, "Oh no, we're going to keep everybody in England. We're going to keep all the existing partnerships and licenses." So yeah, this wouldn't affect Apple. And honestly, I'm sure Apple has contingency plans, and probably doesn't need ARM. It's nice to say it's ARM compatible, but I doubt they need ARM at this point. What else? We mentioned family setup. I think we've covered everything, right? We mentioned the bundle.
Yep.
We haven't mentioned TikTok. Looks like Oracle and Walmart apparently will be tech partners for TikTok if the U.S. government allows it. Microsoft out of the deal. That broke on Sunday.
Sour grapes.
Yeah.
How about the customs seizing a whole bunch of perfectly legal earbuds?
Yes,
OnePlus Buds, because they not only did they say because they thought that they were knockoffs of the AirPod Pro, but then after pointing out that no, they aren't counterfeit, they stuck by their guns and doubled down, said doesn't matter that these are a third party.
Oh, you're
product.
kidding!
It still looks way too much about it. Yeah.
They didn't back down.
They are not backing down.
Oh my God. These are not counterfeit. To
me, they don't look like AirPods at all.
And I'm sure Apple's not asking them to do. I would hope Apple's not asking them to do that.
I think they're trying. I think they're trying to save face here. I mean, these weren't like these. It's not as though these were like thrown into a vacuum pack and a bulk display. This was properly packaged, properly tagged. You could see the OnePlus logo on them. This was just a clowny sort of behavior.
OnePlus's tweet in response to the Border Patrol was, "Hey, give those back." A spokesperson provided TechCrunch with this statement. Upon examining the shipment in question, a Customs and Border Patrol import specialist determined that the subject earbuds appeared to violate Apple's configuration trademark. Apple has configuration trademarks on their brands of earbuds and has recorded those trademarks with the CBP. Based on that determination, officers have seized the shipment under 19 U.S.C. 1526E. Unrelated to images or language on the box, a company does not have to put an Apple word marker design to violate those trademarks. In other words, they don't have to be impersonating AirPods to be considered counterfeit.
Yeah.
The importer will have many opportunities through the adjudication process to provide evidence that their product does not violate the relevant recorded trademarks.
Yeah. And now Apple's thinking, God, where were you guys when we were trying to sue Samsung about the iPhone?
Yeah. I don't know. In what way does this look like an AirPods? They're white.
The part that sticks in your ear.
And they have a stem. That's it.
They have a stem.
They're white and they have a stem.
Yeah.
That's
but OnePlus,
it's silly.
OnePlus seems to have made sure that we're going to put extra markings and extra decorations on part of the stem to distinguish it from it. The case doesn't look the same. I mean, it's no joke that if AirPods had never existed, I don't think that OnePlus would have come up with this design.
Well, that's true.
But it's distinct enough that you kind of have to say, well, whatever.
It looks like those aromatherapy things that you were supposed to like take a hit to make you not hungry. I don't know if you remember those.
I don't. Did it work?
Like, oh, I'm not hungry anymore. No, not going to work.
Inhale. Well, actually, the AirPods do smell like blueberries, so maybe there is something to that.
I was just about to smell mine. You almost got me.
Apparently, Apple One may also be available on Android. That's interesting.
Huh. That is interesting.
Yeah. We'll keep an eye on that one. All right, next. Go ahead, Andy.
No, I was just saying that's the first time I ever thought of that there are Android. Having an Android phone does not preclude you from having an Apple TV. Therefore, It doesn't preclude you from having Apple TV Plus. You can have Apple Music on the device. You can. I don't think they said that Apple Fitness necessarily requires you to have. It's enhanced by having an Apple Watch, but it doesn't require it.
Right.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it would have to be a different bundle, obviously, because you're not going to want iCloud storage. There's, but interesting. All right, it's time next for our picks of the week. Doc Rock, our guest today, I think you should start the picks of the week this week. What do you got for us?
Okay, so I bought the new 27-inch iMac.
Nice.
And the configuration of choice, just because of the way Apple does things, is to get it with a 512 drive, which is kind of insane because it seems kind of small. But going back to USB-C being a world of hurt, I often have to remind people those USB-C shaped things on the side of your MacBooks and your MacBook Pros are Thunderbolt ports. They're actually better and faster.
Yes,
and that confuses folks. So when you go to look for something like an external, this is a Sabrent Extreme new driver, Extreme Q. This guy on the Thunderbolt side of things will actually push almost 3,000 megabytes per second data transfer rate, which is actually faster than the internal drive that comes with the Apple.
Wow.
This 2 terabyte monster here is $350, $320 on sale. If you were to do the 1 terabyte bump inside Apple's configurator, it would have cost you like $200. So you get an extra 512 for $200, or you get an extra 1.5 for $250. I mean, this is a better deal. Okay.
Yeah.
So, when you are forced to use it in USB-C mode, it's still almost 1,000 megabytes per second, which is again insanely quick. It's like T5 level, quick. So, for a portable drive that's fast as all get, comes with great heat management built in order to maintain those speeds, because that's how NVIDIA drives work. It comes in a case, a metal case, and they give you a rubber silicon, not to be confused with silicon, protector, so you can turn it into like a LaCie drive and make it safe. So for a travel drive or just a desktop drive of speed, if you can feel comfortable buying your Macs with less built-in hard drive and get the Sabrent Extreme Q to give it that space that you really require. And it doesn't weigh anything, so it's super nice.
I think that's excellent advice. Thunderbolt 3 is so fast. It's just like an internal drive. There's also an advantage because it's not internal. So if it fails or something, you can get another one or have multiple drives externally.
But anybody would say like an iMac 2017 or so, whatever, the 2015 came with Thunderbolt 3. So any iMac with a Thunderbolt 3 connector that say maybe has that failing Fusion drives because they just do that, just get a really fast external one of these. Don't think about cracking open your screen because it's a pain in the butt.
Oh, no. I did it once. You need a giant suction cup. You definitely don't want to get in there. I did the same thing. I bought an external drive from Otherworld Computing that put SSDs in it. So it is absolutely as fast as the internal drive, probably faster. And it's bigger. It's 4 terabytes. It's nice. It's really nice to have that. Plus, when I do I'm actually going to probably, when Big Sur comes out, start over. I think we were talking about this, Lory, on Sunday, wipe everything. But that all my data, my home folder, in fact, is on an external drive. So I just it would be completely separate. I'll actually unplug it during the install, wipe the drive, install, and then move my. It's easy to do, by the way, in the users and groups section. You right-click on your name, you select advanced, and you can make your home directory be anywhere, including that external drive. So that's what I do. One tip. Here's a tip I learned. If you're going to do that, don't just copy the contents of your home folder over. You'll be missing a lot of stuff, including your entire local library, which means all your settings will have to be reset and everything. So do an rsync or, some sort of high-quality copy to make sure that you've actually duplicated your home folder instead of just doing what I did, which was dumb, which is drag it over. I got all the data, but I didn't get the library folder. I didn't get a lot of the settings stuff that I needed, so I had to go back to scratch and start all over. Do you have an affiliate link? Arthur wants to know, Doc Rock, if he can support you.
kit.co/DocRock.
KIT?
Yes, I put everything there, and also Amazon.com/shop/DocRock.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm gonna be streaming these kind of things. Amazon just created a new thing, Amazon Creator Live, where you can actually do your unboxings and your explainers and stuff directly on Amazon because YouTube can be wishy-washy about links at times. So I think that's a cool new setup. I just did get that going, so I will be doing an Amazon show of products. And to answer the other question, this is a combination of QLC and SLC. I know the caveats of QLC, so I went into that with that in mind. But yeah, you can get them as MLC, but it's just going to cost you a lot.
Right.
More.
That's actually why I got the Otherworld Computing enclosure, because it's enclosure only, and then you can put your own M.2 cards in it. And I just bought a bunch of Samsung EVOs. It's a little more pricey that way, but at least I know that they're high quality.
There is a new OWC coming out called an OWC Envoy Plus. It wasn't ready. Otherwise, that's what I would have got because I prefer everything OWC when possible. And with that Envoy Plus, it will be, I think, MLC or SLC drive. So, yeah, it'll be a little bit more pricey, but that'll be the more ball bearings one.
Yeah.
As we say, bingo, bango, pickle, mango.
Now you're making me hungry. I've never seen this kit thing. This is kind of cool. Kit.co.
Oh, you should have done this a long time ago, Leo. This is right up your alley, brother.
I could have made some money, man. Jeez. So this is it's affiliate links, basically. You create your own page as a creator, and then they give you do they give you a cut, or you just link through to Amazon?
It's just linked through to Amazon.
Oh,
I don't know how Kit plans on making money yet, but you know how it is, startups. They don't care about that right away.
Yeah, they need users, not money. Kit.co/DocRock. And yes, you have that very nice Sabrent is right there. The XTRM-Q from Doc Rock's Kit, man. Lory Gill, what should I buy this week? I already got a grill. Don't get me started on
You actually you inspired me to put my request this week is the YouTube channel Hey Grill Hey. They actually have a website too, so it's heygrillhey.com if you just want to read their recipes. But this YouTube channel, it is just all about grilling recipes and smoking recipes. And what I love about them is they're very easy to understand. I use these videos all the time to help me if I'm grilling something or if I'm smoking something I don't understand exactly how I'm supposed to do it. They're really easy, really fun, really great videos. And every recipe I've used from Hey Grill Hey has been delicious. So.
Ooh, look at that brisket.
Look at that.
That is a nice brisket. That is a sweet, sweet brisket. Hey Grill Hey on YouTube. Okie dokie. This is good.
Yeah.
This didn't cost me anything.
Right, you're good. It's to support the thing that did cost you a fortune.
Yeah, but then this way I get to kill myself faster by eating a lot of barbecue. So it's a win all around. Andy Ihnatko, your pick of the week.
Mine is a Bluetooth adapter that I bought for my stereo system. I've been disheartened by how weirdly all these different like high-end sort of here's AirPlay, here's how that works, here's Chromecast, here's how that works. A lot of them are really conditional. I really just want to be able to I want high fidelity, high resolution, really easy to connect Bluetooth to like the really good stereo that's in my living room. And when I first started looking, there's like 1,000 really cheap pieces of junk, like $20 things that barely work and they don't have any really good inputs. But I did find this device by a company I'd never heard of, so there was a certain amount of trepidation. BluDento, and I bought their model, the BLT-HD, because it had all the features that I was looking for, including Bluetooth 5.0, aptX HD, so it can actually handle like HD audio from my server. It has data bit rates up to data resolution up to 32 bits. The other cool thing is that it has a little stubby external antenna, so it works throughout the entire house. Also, the amount of connectors that it has, so it'll work with analog RCA jacks, but it also has two different kinds of digital ports also. So no matter what you want to connect to it, you can. No matter how you want to connect it to your receiver, it'll find a way to do that. And I'm very, very happy with the sound quality. I will recognize that Bluetooth, no matter, even if this is again the latest chipset, the latest features, all the things that you want to see, it will never be as good as electrons through copper wire. But for everything that I want to do, which is simply I've got something or an app on my phone, I want to pump it through this really good receiver. In my case, this is the receiver that I bought like in 1991 out of college. That for some reason it got a bug in my ear to set it up again. Anyway, it really does the job without any of the confusion about what Wi-Fi network am I on right now? Am I using this throughout a different sort of device? Works great. Now the only weird thing that I should point out is that the prices on this are so variable. If you go to Amazon right now, it's $120. I think and you're buying it directly from sold by BluDento. If you go to their eBay store, it's $80.
What?
You do have to wait for it to ship from China. But when I bought it, there was also a $80 or make an offer, and they accepted an offer of $65.
Oh, jeez.
And so that's why I have to say there was a certain amount of trepidation about $118, but we'll take $65. Like really for a brand new unit that doesn't have spyware built into it, and it only took like 2 weeks to ship from China, so I was willing to save all that money, and I'm very happy with it. It powers from micro USB. Obviously, you don't get the micro USB charger with it. Darn. But for again, the thing is that the next level above this are like $200, $300, and there's no way I was interested in spending anywhere near that money. I was looking for something better than cheap piece of crap, but something less than. Let me tell you about how I'm using interconnects to isolate my cable runs from the carpet. Like, no, I just want to be able to stream things from my phone without having to again go through intermediaries.
Do you think
very happy with it.
so this is aptX HD, which is the latest Bluetooth, hi-fi codec. Do you think that's as good as AirPlay 2?
You're getting into I think that you're getting into the situation where I can't tell the difference unless I do a really intense A/B sort of comparison. And it depends. It also is going to depend on how was this original file mastered? Like, is it like if you're trying to compare like the original version of the Beatles' Abbey Road album, you're probably not going to tell the difference. If you compare it to the recently completely remixed and remastered version from a couple of years ago, maybe you can. But for me, I think that it's at this point, so long as you're getting a high resolution source, the difference is so slim that it might just come down to, well, what kind of speakers do you have? Where do you have them placed in the room? And as always, it comes down to how much fuss are you willing to put up with? How much money are you willing to spend? I can say that this solved a very good problem for me, because every other solution for how do I get Bluetooth going on this receiver, given that my actual like modern receiver, quote modern, is like 8 years old, so it doesn't have like the modern HD Bluetooth codecs. It's the best. It's a really good, comfortable solution. It's a little bit of money, but not too much money. You can the amount of convenience that it adds, the amount of quality that it adds, for me is worth the $60 to $80, maybe even the $120. And it was more like an act. I'll also say that at least 3% of this purchase was an act of defiance. After saying, wait a minute, are you saying there's such a little desire to like add Bluetooth to an arbitrary receiver, an arbitrary source, that all I can get are stuff that was made like 8 or 9 years ago by the same OEM and just keeps getting restickered and for $20 to $21? Damn you, I will spend more money to get something that actually works. Haha, and take that.
The reason I'm asking is, I finally gave up on Sonos. I have older Sonos and newer Sonos, which means I had to have the original Sonos app and the new Sonos app on my phone, and I could only play to, basically I had 2 Sonos networks. So I finally took all the old Sonos Play 5s out, which is about 5 of them, plus 2 Sonos Connects that go into my stereo system. So now I only need to use one app with all the modern Sonos stuff, because I have some modern stuff. But I want to replace the Sonos Connect on my stereo. The Sonos charges like $300 for their Connect, which is insane. So I want some way to play music to the stereo. And so I'm looking at different solutions around that. So this might be the good one.
Yeah, again, one of the big stopgaps for me was the fact that whenever I tried to use a more sophisticated solution like AirPlay or like Chromecast, I even have like a nice little dongle that works, that a Chromecast audio that's just for audio, that should be exactly the thing. But the number of times where I would just like to light up my phone or light up my tablet and it can't find it on the network because my AV setup is on a different network than I've got for I've got my mobile devices on, or for some reason it just wouldn't. Everything seems to be going okay, but it just won't show up. If this is a lot more reliable for me, it gives me line level inputs. And it solves the problem. Sometimes I don't. The biggest annoyance of technology for me is that I'm always just sort of like a little gun shy every time I try to do anything, because is this going to be one of those things where I push a button and it works, or is it the thing where I push the button and get enough data that I can start troubleshooting? Because I really just want to continue to listen to this podcast that I was listening to without having to switch to the audio server, without having to switch to my TV box. I just want to simply say, I came in, I put away the groceries, I want to disconnect from my Bluetooth headphones and connect to these speakers and continue to listen to the story. And it's the simplest, for me, it was the simplest solution to solve that particular problem.
Yeah. My only question is whether I'm so nervous about Bluetooth, but at least it's reliable and it doesn't drop and it doesn't do all those things that Bluetooth earbuds do. But I want to make sure the quality is good. Bluetooth seems a little compressed to me, but I haven't listened to aptX HD, the latest. So
it's you'll enjoy the difference. But I should mention that I don't. My speakers are your basic like $400 pair of ELAC bookshelf speakers.
Well, those are good.
I'm not.
Those are good speakers.
Yeah, they're great, and I keep thinking about replacing them, but every time I look for something that might sound better than those, we're talking $8,000-$9,000, and that's more money that I want to spend for a little bit better sound.
No, those are really excellent.
There's a bunch of good app deck Bluetooth sort of contraptions you can get on Amazon. And so, yeah, I think that might be the next big play. Because that's always been a problem for me, especially when you jump from Audible. Like Audible on my iPhone, when I say, okay, I'm done, I go in the house and then I tell the A lady, hey, girl, can you play my book? And she backs up. And I was like, that's not where I was at. Like, give it a chance to link up. And right now, Audible Plus or whatever, they came up with this thing. They gave it to all of us subscribers. And they added a bunch of really cool, like, content.
Yeah.
And it's so killer. But it never finds my spot when I tell A lady to put it where S lady was listening.
A lady, that's dumb. You got to catch up, A lady.
Yeah, it's your product. You own it.
I know.
You should know the time.
I do that all the time because I have a bunch of Echo speakers and I listen to that all the time. The reason I don't feel like I need Sonos anymore is everything does good quality multi-room sound now, which used to be the only Sonos did it. Now everything does it. I don't, A lady does it. G guy does it. G-boy.
Yeah. If you get a chance, Leo, check Audio Quest. Back when my family had our store, we used to sell Audio Quest equipment. They make a really cool DAC called the Dragonfly.
Oh, I know the Dragonfly. Yes.
I believe they have an app deck thing that you can attach
Dragonflies are excellent DACs. Yeah.
So see the gray box right there? I forget the name of it. That's the one that goes to your receiver.
Oh, okay.
It's right underneath the big picture.
Yeah, the Niagara. Niagara Fall. Oh, no, that's a power conditioner. That's not it.
Oh, no. But they do have a box that you can plug in. Because we used to sell Audio Quest cables and all of that, for the high-end profile stuff. But there's so much good budget-fi now is what I call it. Because, I sold Marantz and B&W speakers. My dad builds custom tube amps.
Oh, neat.
Like, I sold high-end audio forever, my brother and I. So I don't like a lot of the off-the-shelf Best Buy stuff. So I was always looking for cool things. Like, probably the first DAC I ever owned, my dad built it. So looking for this budget-fi stuff that's coming out, including these really cheap $20 in-ear monitors that I got that sound quite incredible. It's amazing. Nice. So I talk a lot about budget-fi stuff on my channel.
Oh, I'm going to watch more Doc Rock now. You're going to get me to spend more money. Those BluDents do have a Burr Brown DAC in it, which is nice, although since most of the time you'll be taking analog out, digital audio out, you won't be using the Burr Brown, but I guess if you took analog out, if you powered some speakers with it, that would actually be a good way to do it. My pick of the week is something new from Zappy, longtime sponsor on the network, but they didn't tell me about this. And actually, I think they developed this in-house because they were looking for ways to developers who are working remotely to share screenshots and screen captures, things like that. It's free. It's called Zappy. It's a screen capture, both stills and movies app that sits in your menu bar, and it lets you share screenshots, but also do animated GIFs and movie recordings of whatever's going on your screen. You pick this part of the screen you want. You can annotate it. You can record what's going on. And as I said, I think they developed this as an in-house tool because they're giving it away. Ultimately, it'll probably be part of a paid Zappy account. I already have a paid Zappy account, so I'll get this. It will actually store your captures in their cloud and give you a shareable URL on your clipboard, which really makes it easy. So if it ever comes up, I'm sure it does for a lot of you that you want to share a screenshot or even more useful, a video of here, Mom, here's the menu. You click this, you do that, you press that button, and just send that video along. I think that's really cool. So I thought I'd mention this. It's free right now from Zappy. It's Zapier, Zapier.com/Zappy. And I actually have been using it for all my screenshots because it's a nice, easy, simple solution. What are you laughing at now?
Mashed Potato said, "Don't recommend this to Chris Evans, though."
Screenshots, they can reach out and bite you, and that could hurt. So,
sorry, he just got it. That was a really funny comment.
Okay. That is Doc Rock, my friends. Follow him on YouTube, youtube.com/DOC/ROCK. Where was your family's store? Was it in Boston?
No, here. Like,
Oh,
right
it's in
across
Hawaii.
the street.
Oh, okay.
When I moved to Hawaii, I was adopted by a family because that's
Oh,
what
I got
Hawaiian
it.
people do. And I've basically been with them for the last 30 plus years.
Oh, nice. Oh, nice. I
Yeah,
didn't realize it was in
was-
Hawaii. That's great. Where in the East Coast were you from originally?
You're gonna laugh. DC and New York, which is why it's funny.
Why
that
you
I'm
wear a
not-
Red Sox hat? Of course, that makes perfect
Can't
sense.
stand the Yankees whatsoever. Can't stand the Yankees. Mets suck. So
Then
yeah,
you are definitely a Red Sox. You're in the Red Sox family.
I'm
This
a
show.
Red Sox Nation card carrier member.
Somebody said this show has way too many Red Sox fans on it. I grew up in Providence, and of course Andy's a local, so I figure the Bo Sox, they got our hearts. I almost.
There's a picture of Big Poppy staring at me. He's
Oh,
literally
I
right there.
love
He looks at me all day, every day.
Big Poppy is the greatest. Although I'm a Carl Yastrzemski guy. I go back a few
There you go.
years. Long before
YASTRZEMSKI.
he knows
That
how
is
to
the-
spell it,
that is-
baby. Yeah.
You know how to spell Carl Yastrzemski.
Yes.
You're in the club.
Oh yeah.
My surname is Boyd, and so Uncle Dennis probably had a lot to do with it as well.
Nice. Very nice. That's Andy Ihnatko. When are you going to be on GBH?
Friday at 1, tune in online, stream it live or later at wgbhnews.org, or if you've got your terrestrial FM radio ready, it's FM 89.7 on your dial.
Yes, you say it like that. That's beautiful. And Lory Gill, who was fabulous. If you haven't listened to TWiT yet, really great on TWiT. It was so nice to have you.
Oh, thank you.
Please come back. And of course, I know you're going to be back next week. You better be back next week.
Yes.
I'm hoping Renee will also come back and share with us the benefits of his great learnings from the briefings that I was not invited to. So you got the invite too, Andy?
I received an invite, and then I emailed back and say, okay, great, I'll be there. And then got like within an hour later, oh, please disregard that invite.
Please disregard. You're not that important.
It happens.
Your
Yeah,
non-invite
disinvited.
invite. Well,
No hard feelings. It happens.
it wasn't a real invite. So that's the thing. And Lory, you got one. Did you get one too?
I did.
I immediately
did.
so the invite said, "Come, join us for your Apple briefing." But
Briefing. That exact wording, which makes you think,
Briefing
this is
schedule.
more
Yep.
important.
Yeah, and then the link below the briefing was just the link to the stream and the time of the stream. But I didn't see that. All I saw was the email saying, "Please disregard the earlier message." At which point I went back to my mailbox and started looking through it, and I did in fact get an invitation to watch the stream as well as a non-existent briefing. I guess a lot of people. I sent an email to Renee say, "Renee, this seems like I'm still on Apple's poop list, right? This doesn't seem like a real invite." And he said, "No, everybody got that." Don't get your hopes up, Laporte.
They decided to be mean to everybody this year.
Yeah. It was actually pretty funny. We all got the invitation to a non-existent briefing, except we got the briefing.
There you go.
Yeah.
If I buy this $1,500 Traeger,
Oh
Lory,
no!
your name is going to be Lory Grill.
Oh,
I'm gonna just let you know. I'm gonna just change it.
Make sure to use Lory's kit.co link.
Yeah, I wish I
it's
had
on.
one. I'd be making so much money off these Traegers.
So Lory
Hey,
told
go
me, and
set
I
one
think
up.
she's right. If you're going to get it, Doc, get the Wi-Fi version. It has a Wi-Fi connector, so you can. It's so great. It's so great.
Yeah.
So you can turn on the grill, set the temperature. It starts itself because it's pellet, and you just go back to sleep. And then
Yeah, the only thing that you can't do is
Turn it
have
off.
the meat put on for you.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
yeah,
You
yeah.
actually have to go out and
Yeah,
put
yeah,
the
yeah.
meat on the grill for you
so
for yourself.
and then it has a probe, which you put in, and it beeps you on your phone when it's done. It's like
You can go grocery shopping while your meat is smoking. It's so amazing.
so awesome.
Yeah.
This
So
is
awesome.
hard. You guys stop. Just stop.
You don't have to just. What did I get? The 750 Pro, I think, is what you got, Lory, right? The 750.
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
the
yeah.
one we got.
Which I think was that one 900 or 1,000?
Yeah, it wasn't 15. I think
Yeah.
all in, it was a little more than an Apple Watch.
I was looking at the 850 Timberline pellet
Oh, the
grill with
Timberline's
Wi-Fi-
nice.
with Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fire. I know. It looks like. Now the Timberline has the super smoker. But I've read around and said, you don't need the super smoke.
Okay.
It makes it really smoky at the beginning. What's weird is it's not super smoky, is it, Lory?
No, I haven't tried any recipes where you use like the really reduced smoke though.
Right.
So it's everything I've done has been 250.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking maybe if I did it closer to 150, maybe I'd get a
Maybe
little
you
more
get more
smoke out of
smoke,
it. But I
yeah.
haven't seen it really be really
And
smoky.
and
no.
you have to order the pellets because they don't come with the grill. If you get that, Doc, you got to get the pellets too. Otherwise, you'll be sitting looking at a grill and you can't do anything with it. And that's
I
frustrating.
can make my own pellets.
No, not that kind of pellets. You really don't want to. You really don't want to use those.
You don't want to smoke your meat with those pellets.
In fact, they very
know what?
clear, don't use the pellets for a pellet stove. You got to use the special pellets that are non-toxic. But Lory, it's funny that you said you didn't want to do any smoking during the fires. At first I thought, oh yeah, it's too smoky. I don't want to do any. And then I thought, well, wait a minute. I'm smoking the meat. A little extra smoke isn't going to hurt.
Yeah. No, I just don't want to go outside. It's just so gross out there.
Right.
Even though you're not babysitting the
No, you
grill
don't
or
have to sit
anything,
with
but
it. Yeah.
I just think of it as being something that you do as part of your outdoor activities.
You're supposed to sit there and tend the fire and drink beer. And
Yeah.
Aaron Franklin even says, be careful because if you pass out, you might miss the point of perfection. So careful on the beer. He says you might want to switch to water after the first 10 or 15 hours.
I want to thank all of you because I was going to have a very, very sensible dinner out of my fridge tonight, but now I have to go out and get a takeout burger from a good place that makes the good grilled burgers.
Andy.
I can't deal with this.
I can't wait till the quarantine is over and I can come out, visit my mom, and go to a diner with you.
Yes.
Do you prefer breakfast, lunch, or dinner in the diner? What do you?
Diners are breakfast, and there are other places you can get good meat and good burgers. Especially, my neighborhood has no fewer than 4 restaurants that make their own clam chowder.
Oh,
so we could do like a sort of a chowder fest.
Oh, I love chowder.
You know?
My mom, the last time I visited her, there's a clam. What do you call them? Clam fritters. Clam cakes. There's a clam cake place in Providence that's kind of Nouvelle clam cakes. It's the best clam cakes I ever had in my life.
Yep. Why load yourself up with fats and oils when you can also load yourself up on carbs?
Yeah, you get all
Go
three.
for it. Don't even pretend.
I think it's called, what was it called? Iggy's or Augie's?
Oh, yep, Iggy's.
Iggy's, is that it? You know it?
I think that's it. Yep, I know of it.
Oh, man. That was so good. Or was it was it the Dune Brothers?
We will make up for lost time.
Might have been the Dune Brothers. They're also very good. Yeah, I think it was the Dune Brothers. Best clam cakes and chowder you ever had. Are we making you hungry?
Starving.
It must be lunchtime. Thank you.
Remember that fitness app that Apple's doing is not available yet. You got plenty of time.
I got to start now. We do this show every Tuesday right after iOS Today. That's usually around 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 1800 UTC. As with all of our shows, you can watch us make it live through the streams. There are a number of them, but the best thing to do is go to twit.tv/live and pick your stream, audio or video. If you are watching live, chat live. We've got a great chat room. Everybody else watching live's in there at irc.twit.tv. Doc Rock was in there too, having a good time. And of course, you can get on-demand versions of everything we do after the fact, so you can listen at your convenience. The website has the show, twit.tv/mbw. There's a YouTube channel for MacBreak Weekly. The general YouTube channel is youtube.com/twit. Then you can find links there to all the show channels. Each show has its own channel. You can also subscribe in your favorite podcast app. Just look for MacBreak Weekly. If you subscribe, you'll get it the minute it's available. That's convenient. And if you are an Amazon A-Lady listener, don't forget you can add Twit to your flash briefing. We do a little clip for every day of the week, so you can get a little dose of Twit in your daily flash briefing. Make sure you add that in your A-Word app. Thanks, everybody, for being here. Now it's time to get back to work because break time is over. Bye-bye.
I'm Jason Howell, host of Tech News Weekly here on TWiT.tv, along with my co-host Micah Sargent. Each and every week, we talk to people who are making and breaking the tech news. It could be journalists writing amazing tech stories. It could be experts. It could be the sources of the stories themselves, developers, you name it. We bring them onto the show and we talk to them about why their story is resonating with the world. You can watch and subscribe by going to twit.tv/TNW. Make sure you do that and you won't miss a single episode. We'll see you there.
Okay, delivers. The best I could do is September 25th. Oh, well. I don't even know if I want this brown loop.